Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is AZ. This is my channel T-Spiracy, and if you are new here, I have done my best to cover all of the important details of the Gabby Petito Brian Laundrie case, and lo and behold, we have some new information. This is going to be a really quick stream just to kind of give you guys an update. I know we haven't talked about this in a while. That's just kind of because there's not really much to go by, right? Like there's not much new information, okay? So I think we all kind of knew this in the back of our heads, right? I think we all kind of knew that Brian Laundrie was a big biatch and he would take the easy way out. So here's the crazy part. Now, Brian Laundrie autopsy. Forensic anthropologist says fugitive died of suicide, okay? Trigger warning, by the way. Whoopsie. I'm still not clear on that. Oh, Inquiz, I see you there in the chat. I need you to tell me somewhere on a comment or wherever, if you don't want to do it here, what your Instagram name is so I can accept you, because I looked for your name and I didn't see it. But anyways, so the weird part is the FBI hasn't said anything yet, guys. Guys, guess how we did it? And if you know, don't say nothing, okay? Okay, don't be blowing up the spot in the chat, right? Listen, Linda. Okay, I'm going to read this to you. Deceased fugitive Brian Laundrie died of suicide. A forensic anthropologist told the Laundrie family attorney, Stephen Bertolino, on Tuesday. Laundrie took his own life with a gunshot wound to the head. Okay, Chris and Roberta are mourning. All that stuff, obviously. Yo, where is the gun? You guys. Where is the gun? Where is it? Like, I want to know what's in that bag, okay? Have they known about the gun this whole time and just not told us? Do they have it? Because we don't know if they have it, because they haven't said anything yet, right? Now, I did watch my boy, Hey JB, okay? And he said that they were speculating on whether or not they even found the gun to begin with, right? Did they find it that day? Did they find it prior to that? Did they find it thereafter? But you know what I can't stop thinking about, you guys? Want to know what I can't stop thinking about? I cannot stop thinking about how, Olivia, do you remember that girl from TikTok, Olivia? I played you a couple of her videos, right? Olivia and a couple other people had said that there was a girl who they saw near this area. Now, this was around the time they found Gabby's water bottle, what's believed to be Gabby's water bottle anyways, and all that stuff, right? Remember how Olivia, and if you were here for it, you were here for it. But if not, I'll explain. So they found the water bottle. Remember they found bones and they ended up not being human anyways. Well, around that period of time, I played a video where Olivia, I believe it was Olivia, told a story that said, there was a girl who ended up talking to a guy they knew, right? Who was someone they were close with and hanging out with, whatever, walking around the grounds, because that's what those people were doing. Remember, they were dilly-dallying around the, just the area where Brian died. And remember the girl said she found Brian's do-rag or whatever, and in that she found other stuff, but she wouldn't tell the guy what it was, remember? And remember how she was like, well, are you in office? Are you a cop? And the guy was like, no, because he wasn't. And she wouldn't tell him what the other items, whatever. And this is all speculation, okay? This is not from the news. I'm just telling you. I can't help but think of that, okay? VZ, you remember? So I'm like, you have all these people out here running around, right? Now you got to remember, the area was underwater, okay? Underwater. And that means if he did use a gun, right? Where is it? Did it float away from him? Did one of these, bullhorn Bettys out here pick it up on the walk? You know what I'm saying? We don't know. Did the FBI have it all along? So many unanswered questions, right? And it's really frustrating. It's like, okay, Stephen Bertolino, we already know how I feel about him anyways, but to come out here and just give that information and nothing else, it's all right, as if this whole thing isn't weird enough. You couldn't just wait, I don't know. I want to know if they have that gun or not. I want to know that. It's driving me crazy now. Could it still be buried under debris? I mean, who knows, right, Leon? Who knows? I want to know. Right? Now, all along, I had a feeling that this was how it's going to be, right? Because remember how they were like, yeah, remember how they talked about the skull and stuff? I just had a feeling that it was going to be like this, right? Like that he was going to end up having, died by gunshot wound. So, whose gun was it? Was it registered to him? Probably not. They found his mandible and his skull. So, the way they talked about it made me believe, like, okay, so remember I brought out my skull friend, George, over whatever my skull friend's name is, and I was like, look how well together this jaw is to the skull, right? And I was like, why, even if an animal came at you, whatever, the skull is like one of those pieces of the body that like doesn't deteriorate that easy. I mean, it usually stays together. Why was it separate? I was saying, right? And we kind of all speculated on the prospect that maybe his skull wasn't together, and maybe that it wasn't together because maybe he, gunshot wound to the head. Now, is there anybody out here that still doesn't think this is Brian? Right? I know there's so many people out here that still doesn't think this is Brian, right? Yeah, he may have had the gun the whole time. I mean, what I want to know is, was it his dad's gun? Did his dad know that Brian took the gun with him, right? But do you remember we saw photos of Brian's bedroom, right? You remember when the photos we saw of Brian's bedroom that went around in the beginning? This was early on. And we saw a holster and a gun like somewhere in his room, and everybody was talking about it. So it is speculated that he did have a gun, right? So I think it is Brian, and I think the FBI knew he killed himself, maybe even having the gun. There was something that kept searching out there the whole time. Yep. I wonder if he called his parents beforehand and well, Jane, I believe he left his cell phone at the house. That's what they say anyways. Remember how him and his mom were, now you start thinking of all these other things, right? Remember how him and his mom were caught cell phone shopping? Were they caught cell phone shopping because they needed a new one so they could so Brian could quote unquote leave one phone at home and take one with him? Like, I got two phones, you know what I mean? Like maybe he had two phones. Maybe they went and bought a new phone so he could take one with him, leave one behind so they could show the police and be like, see, he left his phone here. See, you know what I mean? So that maybe he did call them. Maybe he did say goodbye. We don't know. Yes, Snow White has a good point. Snow White says, hello, Easy. If they have the gun, which we don't know yet, but if they have the gun, maybe they're going to see if it matches the two ladies. Yes, the two ladies from Moab. Yep. Very, very good point. Oh, you guys want to hear something crazy? Okay, speaking of Bullhorn Betty. Bullhorn Betty and, Jonathan. Remember Jonathan, the dude with all the lawsuits and stuff? Remember how we were laughing our asses off that night reading his lawsuits? Okay. We all know the ones that got the interview with Cassie Laundrie. Get this, guys. This is new too. Okay, listen here. Okay. They went to Moab recently. They just got back from Moab. While they were out there, they were, talking to locals. They even went in disguise at some point because, they're pretty, you could spot them out of a crowd. Let's just put it that way. Everyone in the news knows everyone watches the news knows what they look like. They even they got wigs and stuff. Anyways, make a long story short, get this. It has been confirmed by the people who worked with, Kylan, is that her name? I'm so sorry. I always get them mixed up. Please forgive me. It's not a case I follow closely. You're not going to believe how weird is the world. Listen to this, okay? Get to the point, Easy. Jeez. Sorry, I got thrown for a loop with this news. I'm trying to process it all. So, remember how that girl worked at a restaurant? Remember how it was the same restaurant that Brian and Gabby got spot. Remember he was hitting her or whatever, and they called the police. Remember that? Yo, it's been confirmed that Kylan had told her co-workers that she saw her and her girlfriend, right? Saw Brian and Gabby fighting in the parking lot because you know why? She was picking her up at the time. How weird is that? They didn't do anything. They didn't call the police. They didn't intervene. They were like, yo, the way they told the story to the co-workers was, we saw this couple out there fighting. We just minded our business. We carried on. Oh my God, I gotta get this. I'm so sorry. This girl's name is gonna drive me nuts. I was just watching this the other night too. Hold on. Schultz. I know that one of them's last name Schultz. I want to make sure I say their names right. I don't want to be disrespectful up in here, you know? Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner. Okay, there we go. So Crystal Turner worked in McDonald's and Kylan Schulte worked at that restaurant, okay? Now, Crystal was going to pick Kylan up from work. This is how the story goes from the locals in Moab and from from Kylan Schulte's co-workers. They told Jonathan and Bullhorn Betty this, okay? A couple people did, they say. They told them, yep, they actually crossed paths. How crazy of a small world is that? Just picturing that, it's spooky. It gives me chills. Just picturing, her walking out, waiting for her girl to pick her up, right? Getting off your shift, waitressing, whatever it is. Waiting for Crystal to pick her up. She's out there probably keeping an eye out the window, waiting for Crystal Turner to come pick her up, and freaking, you see a couple arguing. You see, a dude smacking a girl who knows what she saw. Crystal pulls up. Kylan's probably like, oh, now I gotta walk by these people, walk by them, make it all awkward, because no one likes to even have to walk by something like that, right? Probably got in the whip, started telling Crystal, yo, this couple's out here, it's freaking smacking each other, and they were probably like, yeah, snitches get stitches, we're not saying nothing, let's just be out. And then they went back to their campsite. I don't know what happened, but I do know they crossed paths, and I do know that, Kylan Schulte told her coworkers that she saw that actual incident. That is some Final Destination butterfly effect crazy story if I ever heard one, right? How crazy is that? No, the lady refers to herself as Bullhorn Betty. She really does. She calls herself that. Now, if you are interested in watching that interview, it is on, dun dun dun, Molly Golightly's channel. For all you people out here who hate me because I don't dislike Molly or whatever, it actually is really interesting. It's a really interesting interview. Bullhorn Betty gives a lot of information. She really does, and it's definitely worth a watch if you're interested. I will link it after, of course. I didn't even plan on talking about this. It kind of just ended up that way, but yeah. So just thinking of how eerie that is, right? These 4 people were all in this parking lot together. They crossed paths and they're all dead. How wild is that? Now, I'll give a couple spoilers here before I go because I can't stay long. I do have to head to the bus stop, get my child, but I will tell you this too, that, what the hell was I just going to say? Hold on. I lost my train of thought. Okay, this is what I was gonna say. So, as much as confirmation they got that, yep, they did cross paths, yep, they still think, and she feels in her heart, anyways, that it's not connected. That the fact that they are all gone now and they cross paths is just a coincidence, kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't know a whole ton of a lot about Crystal and Kylan. I am more interested now, I will say. I have been paying more attention to it than I did before, especially after hearing Bullhorn Betty, okay? Because her whole story was actually really good. I like, at the beginning, I was like, I don't really like this lady, but I like people who can tell a story in order, that don't get sidetracked, that get to the point, and that lady really does get to the point. I mean, I gotta respect that, you know what I'm saying? Bullhorn or not, it's a good interview. So I am gonna drop that link after I get off here, and if we do get any new details about Brian or the gun or whatever, I'll make sure I update you guys, right? Hold on, let me go back here. 1 second, you guys. As many of you already know, like, the only way they identified him was through dental records, right? But I'm sure the thing is, they have to have at least a piece of his skull. They have to be able to tell, you would think, that there's like a hole through a portion of it, right? Probably a round portion or somewhat, skulls don't break. You usually can. I'm no anthropologist, okay? But if they're confident enough to tell the family that they know something we don't know, and we're waiting on the rest of it because the FBI has not spoken yet, we don't know where the gun is. We don't know nothing else besides what they've said so far, right? Yeah, I think Facey McGee, I think that's about all they had is most of his skeleton, right? He deteriorated in very quickly, from the swampy conditions in the hot area, and a lot of people just can't get down with that. They're like, I don't understand. Like, there's wild boars out there and everything else. Animals eat these people, guys. It's disgusting as it is. It happens, who knows? But here's what I don't understand, you guys. This is the part that's bothering me right now. I know we have to wait for more details as usual, and I am not a patient person, okay? Let me tell you, I'm an Aries. I don't have patience. I want all the info right away. I don't like being in the unknown. So they'll tell us, remember the day they found this stuff? They're like, all right, we found the notebook. We found a backpack. Don't you think if they found the gun, they would have told us? But then again, the more I think about it, maybe they would not have told us because, it's an investigation. Maybe they have it. Maybe they have the gun. Maybe they knew all along Brian did this, self-inflicted gun wound. Who knows? We just got to wait for more information. But anyways. So, yeah, I just thought that little story, too, was interesting that they all actually passed cross paths. They all pass cross. That's what I get for trying to read the chat talk at the same time. Anyways. But yeah, I'm going to link that video. You can listen to it. Really interesting stuff. They also talk about in the video, one more spoiler alert, one more. They also, me, one more thing before I go. I always say that, okay? They also talk about how Kylan had an upcoming, case or something, okay? So basically, she had something awful happen to her. I'm gathering that it was of the SA nature, okay? And that she had decided to take a stand and bring what happened to her forward, okay? So there is some talk of the town in Moab, and Moab does not like outsiders coming in trying to get info on this case. Like, they were very, very shady. Like I said, it's a good story. You got to listen to it. But anyways, there's speculation that because Kylan was going to bring this to, the justice system, what happened to her, that maybe, just maybe, somebody didn't want it to go that far. Maybe somebody showed up and maybe made it so she could never come forward, They talk about scattered Gatorade bottles. So anyways, yeah, watch the interview. It's really interesting stuff anyways. So I'm going to run. If anything new happens, we'll talk, right? Because I'm so glad to see all you guys show up here to still care about the info on this, because I feel like we have all kind of gone through this together from the beginning. And I didn't even feel right not even talking to you guys about this and reading your comments after and stuff, It's still something I'm interested in. I don't think we'll ever have the whole story, and that's going to drive me nuts because, of course, we'll never know for sure, but, Anyways, guys, I'm going to go. If anything else happens, if the FBI talks or whatever, I'll probably update you, but thank you for showing up. Think of 3 things that you are grateful for. Okay? And have a great day. I'll see you soon.